The golden fields of Bethlehem shimmer under the morning sun. Boaz, a tall and kind-faced man with a seasoned wisdom in his eyes, stands at the edge of his field. His gaze softens as he notices a young woman, her movements graceful yet determined, gleaning barley with a quiet dignity. Boaz couldn't help but notice her, a stranger among his people, yet there was something remarkable about her. Her resilience, humility, and beauty set her apart. Little did Boaz know, this woman named Ruth carried a story as extraordinary as her spirit. But to truly understand why she was here, we must journey back to Moab, a land far from Bethlehem. Moab, a land of dry winds and rocky hillsides, had become a place of refuge for Elimelech, a man from Bethlehem. Driven by famine, this was where Elimelech brought his wife Naomi and their two sons, Mahlon and Chilion, to Moab in search of refuge and survival. But Moab was not kind to them. What they sought as a sanctuary became a place of sorrow. Elimelech, Naomi's husband, passed away, leaving Naomi a widow in a foreign land. Her sons married Moabite women, Orpah and Ruth, yet after 10 years, both Mahlon and Chilion also died. Naomi was left bereft, with only her daughters-in-law as companions. Naomi's heart grew heavy with grief for losing her husband and her sons in a foreign land. News reached Naomi that the famine in Bethlehem had ended, and she decided to return to Bethlehem, her homeland. On the road back to Bethlehem, Naomi urged her daughters-in-law, Orpah and Ruth, to stay in Moab, releasing them from any obligation to follow her. Orpah tearfully chose to remain in Moab, but Ruth clung to Naomi with unwavering loyalty. "Do not urge me to leave you or turn back from you," Ruth said with heartfelt conviction. "Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God my God." With those words, Ruth sealed her devotion, not just to Naomi, but to a new life, a new faith, and an uncertain future in Bethlehem, and embarked on a journey of faith and uncertainty. Together, they returned to Bethlehem, a land of rolling green pastures and abundant harvests. But for two widows, Naomi and Ruth, life held little promise. They were widows, with no one to provide for them, and without protection. Yet Ruth's determination shone through. She asked Naomi for permission to glean in the fields, to gather and collect leftover grain from the harvesters to sustain them, which was a right reserved for the poor. In the fields of Boaz, Ruth worked tirelessly from morning until evening. Her dedication did not go unnoticed. Boaz, intrigued by the unfamiliar woman gleaning in his field, inquired about her. "Who is this young woman gleaning in my field?" "She is Ruth, the Moabite who returned with Naomi," one of the workers replied. "She has been working tirelessly since morning." Boaz was impressed, not just by Ruth's hard work, but by her loyalty to Naomi. He approached her with kindness. "May the Lord repay you for what you have done," he said warmly. "May you be richly rewarded by the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge." Ruth was astonished by Boaz's generosity, but this was only the beginning. When Ruth recounted the encounter to Naomi, hope stirred in Naomi's heart. Boaz was not just a kind landowner, he was a family redeemer, a man who could restore their family line through marriage. Naomi devised a plan and instructed Ruth to take a bold step, to approach Boaz at the threshing floor. Under the cover of night, Ruth went to Boaz as he slept near the grain. Gently, she uncovered his feet and lay down, a gesture of humility and a request for protection. Startled awake, Boaz saw Ruth and listened as she spoke. "Spread the corner of your garment over me, for you are a guardian redeemer," she said softly. Boaz's heart swelled with respect and admiration. "The Lord bless you, my daughter," he replied. "I will do all you ask." True to his word, Boaz went to great lengths to fulfill his role as a redeemer. He resolved matters with another relative who had a prior claim, ensuring that he could marry Ruth and restore Naomi's family line. Their union was blessed by God and celebrated, and Ruth's faithfulness was rewarded. Ruth became the great-grandmother of King David. She bore a son, Obed, who would become the grandfather of King David. From a story of loss and hardship emerged a legacy of hope and redemption. The story of Ruth reminds us that loyalty, faith, and love can transform even the darkest circumstances into a beacon of hope. From Moab to Bethlehem, from loss to love, Ruth's journey continues to inspire and echoes through the ages. What will your story of faith and courage be? Ruth's journey, a story of faith and redemption. Like, share and subscribe for more inspiring stories from the Bible.